This tree shouldn't exist. At least that's what some scientists claimed in August of 1945. Before that, in the summer of 1945, Hiroshima was...
Interrupting for a split second here to correct myself. The correct pronunciation is Hiroshima, not Hiroshima, and I should know better. Correct pronunciation is the smallest of efforts that communicates a much bigger message, that other cultures matter, that their histories matter, and their names deserve to be spoken with care, especially considering that we did bomb their city. So, apologies.
In the summer of 1945, Hiroshima was a city of gardens and rivers, and its parks were famous for their shade trees. There were willow, camphor, ginkgo biloba, persimmons, cherry trees. That all changed at 8:15 on August 6th, when the Enola Gay flew over Hiroshima and dropped a bomb that detonated 1,900 feet over the Ota River.
A short time ago, an American airplane dropped one bomb on Hiroshima and destroyed its usefulness to the enemy. That bomb has more power than 20,000 tons of TNT. It is an atomic bomb. It is a harnessing of the basic power of the universe. The force from which the sun draws its power has been loosed against those who brought war to the Far East.
The temperature at the blast center reached 7,000 to 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit, and a 2-kilometer radius left only a few buildings. Businesses were decimated, homes, people, whole families, all of it burned in an instant. Some left only their shadow, literally burned into stone for decades to remind us that 80,000 instantly were dead, and that grew to around 140,000 from burns and radiation poisoning or horrific cancers.
We found at the Ginkgos public school, where treatments were continued over the longest period. More than 3,000 patients were treated here.
It was desolation. Just nothing green, nothing standing, charcoal sticks where trees used to be. A black, sticky rain fell half an hour later. Thank God this isn't that rain. It spread the radiation further afield for hours. And just 2 days after the bombing, American scientist Dr. Harold Jacobson from Columbia University, with a little bit of clout of having worked a short time on the Manhattan Project, told newspapers that Hiroshima would be uninhabitable for 70 years. The rain would bring death. The soil was poisoned. No plant could grow, or it would surely just die if it even sprouted. The US government did not like him saying that, and within hours they were on his doorstep, and they made him disavow the statements. But not before the claim spread around the world, and Japan, of course, heard the message, made worse by the bomb on Nagasaki. The survivors saw no use. Hiroshima was not survivable. Everyone should just leave, right? If they even could. To the Japanese, it was mind-blowing that the West had effectively subdued not just them, but nature itself. Until 2 months later, when something impossible began to happen. See, one photographer, Hideo Matsuo, he was 28 years old, working for Asahi Shimbun, and he walked through the ruins with a camera and a notebook, and what he found was life. potatoes sprouting through ash, new leaves pushing out from dead black trunk near Hiroshima Station. Even a willow less than 400 meters from ground zero, or the hypocenter, was burnt to the roots. It was sprouting up again. And by the spring of 1946, green buds began to appear on numerous trees, color returning to Hiroshima. And the people who had experienced the atom bomb became known as Hibakusha. Hibaku meaning something that has experienced a nuclear bomb. And it's distinctly not survivors, was not the word that was chosen, because that felt disrespectful to those who had died. And they were also, these Hibakusha, it was a hard life beyond their challenges with health, because they were often treated as pariahs. And Jumoku means tree. So these Hibakujumoku endured the atomic blast also, becoming living witnesses to that moment and symbols of a new possibility. Today, the survivors of Hiroshima, the Hibakusha, well, they're passing away into history, but the trees remain, still doing what they've always done, turning sunlight into life, right? And they're always a reminder. They even lean toward the bomb site, weakened on that side by slower growing plant cells. And time, pollution, and a growing city means that they can't last forever. And that is where this tree comes in. The Ginkgo biloba here in Des Moines, Iowa, is part of that story. It's the child of a Hiroshima survivor, one of roughly 170 Hibakujumoku trees cataloged in the 1990s. But these survivors are on borrowed time. In 2025, the number of trees has shrunk to 159. And over time, seeds from those survivor trees, at least the ones still capable, are being shared around the world through groups like Mayors for Peace and Green Legacy Hiroshima. Des Moines joined that movement in 2019, signing a resolution for peace. And this Ginkgo biloba here, it's a living reminder of the tragedy, as a reminder of hope for the future and what could happen if we let it slide into violent times. Now, this is the only one I know of in Des Moines. I just happen to be passing through here. If you want to stop here, this is at the Robert D. Ray Asian Garden in Des Moines. There are over 50 of them in Portland and hundreds around the world. Today, by the way, some leaders talk about testing new nuclear bombs again. Scientists say we already know enough. There is nothing new to learn from another blast, except maybe how to repeat the same mistakes. We got lucky last time. The materials used in those first two nuclear type bombs produced fast decaying isotopes, and they were airburst bombs, so less fallout on the ground. These trees survived the unthinkable. These hibaku trees, they turned the world's worst tragedy into a reminder. They are a living monument to that event and to hope. So next time that you stand in the shade of a tree, remember, even in near total destruction, the will to grow is there. But we should not be idiots and test their limits. This tree should not exist, but it does. And that means there is still hope for us too. Don't bomb. I don't know, build. Don't follow your leaders blindly, hold them accountable. And now, my hands are frozen. I gotta get out of this rain. Ooh. Yeah. Ooh, my poor hands. Ooh.